Among the governor's final words in his State of the State address, exceptions he wants added to the state's near total abortion ban. He's asking the legislature to include rape and incest as exceptions for abortion. Here to discuss, Tara Wicker, wife and mother of 6, now a leader with Louisiana Right to Life, and Mary Patricia Wray, wife and mother of 2, recognized by the American Association of Political Consultants and is teaching Louisiana constitutional law. Today, the politics, the science, the religion, the public opinion fueling this discussion. And I want to begin with looking at these exceptions proposed by the governor. Is there room at the table for these 2 exceptions, rape and incest? Let me begin with you.
You know, I think that the voice of the Louisiana citizens spoke. They spoke loud and clear in terms of having a total ban on abortion. We firmly believe that no matter the circumstances surrounding a person's conception, that every life has value and every human being should have the opportunity to live.
Mary Patricia?
Well, recent polling on this issue by well-known Louisiana pollsters, one as recently as last month, indicates that 70% of Louisiana citizens agree that there should be exceptions to an abortion ban in cases of rape and incest, which is just 3% under the 73% of people that agree there should also be exceptions that currently exist to preserve the life and the health of the mother. And I think Ms. Wicker is 100% correct that Louisiana citizens value the dignity of every life in this state. And I think that public opinion actually reflects that. They believe that a 13-year-old who maybe is raped or has a pregnancy that's a case of incest, they value her life and they agree that she should not be forced to carry her baby to term.
Now, let me ask you this. As it stands now, the exceptions are rather limited to save the pregnant person's life, the mother, if there's serious risk to her life. Also, if the fetus is not expected to survive the pregnancy. These are really the only exceptions that exist at this point in time. Your thoughts on that?
Ms. Wicker?
Yeah, those were the exceptions. Obviously, when it first came out, we were of the opinion, definitely in terms of the ability to save the life of the mother, that's done under a doctor's care. We believe that was something that needed to be into consideration. However, we know that there are circumstances that all the time children that have disabilities. One young man we know recently that was actually conceived in rape also was born with 3 holes in his heart. And so, everything was leaning toward the viability of this baby's survival. And his mom made the decision that he had the right to live. The holes were closed up in his heart. He had heart surgery at 19 and living viable. And so we just believe that at the end of the day, every human being has and deserves the right to be able to live.
Okay. Mary Patricia?
I think that taking these cases one at a time actually does have some value. And I celebrate that young man's story along with everyone else. I think it's a great story. The story started with a choice. The law now removes that choice. And that's the only thing that would change in that circumstance, is that the choice wouldn't be available. So again, I think that's probably why 70% of people believe that especially in cases of rape and incest, the choice should exist.
I want to respond to that because I hear that often. And, the difficulty I think that I have in being able to absorb that is, at what point do we make the decision that the ability to be able to kill another human being within another human being is a right? And so I struggle with that. We struggle with that because at some point in time, to me, it becomes, I may be pro-life, but I'm selective. And so I have a determination of whether your life is valuable or whether your life is valuable. And at what point do you draw that line? And the difficulty for me, especially as an African-American woman, at one point in history, it was determined until, constitutional law changed that African Americans were not even considered a full person, just the very fact of our own personhood. So it goes to a direct passion for me as a mother, as an African American woman, that we have select we can select when we value and don't value a person's life. So that's kind of the difficulty that I really see around this issue.
And it is a difficult issue, and I think it's important to recognize that. And I think, with great respect for differing opinions, we don't decide that question, and we shouldn't decide that question, because in the story that kind of generated this conversation that we're having, we didn't. The mother of the child did. And I think it's important to recognize that for 50 years, that protected women and children, especially women and children with former experience or that come from a legacy of oppression. Answering a legacy of oppression like slavery with more oppression, I think is un-American. It's definitely unconstitutional, and it's my Christian Catholic faith informs me that it's the wrong thing to do. And to answer your question more directly, is there room at the table for this conversation? I think there is, and I think we've got two really intelligent folks sitting here talking about it right now, and that it's very important that the conversation continue, and that it include facts, science, medical truths, religious viewpoints, and political viewpoints, because all of those actually are important to the discussion.
Well, it's great to see both of you. I appreciate you both being here today. We're out of time.
Wow.
But maybe we come back and talk again, though.
Thank you for having us,
Thank you
Andre.
so
We
much.
appreciate
Thank you so much. Really
Thank you.
appreciate the opportunity.